Hello, and welcome back. Today, we will be looking at my Yuuzhan Vong Coral Skipper, also properly known as the Yorick Et. If you are unfamiliar with this, I'm going to go over real quick, basically just some lore about this vehicle. Basically, the Yuuzhan Vong were a race that were beyond the standard galaxy where Star Wars takes place. They were a race of people that hated mechanical technology. They were religious zealots. They destroyed countless worlds and countless other galaxies, all because they just hate technology and stuff like that. All of their vehicles are basically organic in some way, shape, or form. Because they don't like mechanical technology, they use organic technology, which is really gross and really weird, but it makes them a really unique faction. So this is my version of the Coral Skipper, also known as a skip. It is made out of Yuuzhan Vong coral, known as Yorick coral. These machines, or living spaceships, were grown, basically, kind of like in an egg cocoon kind of thing, and they can range from a ton of different colors, a ton of different looks, a ton of different designs, and that kind of stuff. They are piloted by a single person. They have Yaret core armaments, and then they have like a main section that fires like hot magma or plasma or something like that. And then for shielding and propulsion, they use what's called a Dovin Basil, which is this black ball with tentacles, and that provides their shield systems, that provides their propulsion. It's like multiple organisms in one. The way the pilot flies the ship is via a mask called a cognition hood. It's like a kind of chainmail looking thing with spikes in it, and the spikes will connect to like your nervous system and stuff, and that would be how you would pilot the ship. As I have said in my Webricks video, this is made entirely out of Webricks parts. It is possible to make this out of not Webricks parts, official LEGO parts, but it is way more expensive. It's about $150 in parts for the dark purple version, which is the more correct version in my opinion, because as I've said before, Webricks has some limitations in part availability, and the main limitation here, as you can see, was this isn't in black, this isn't in black, and these aren't in blue, as they should be. So we had to make do with what we had available to us, and that is what we came up with. So, to show you a little bit more of this, so this guy right here is able to flip it up, so, and then there's the cockpit on the inside. This is supposed to be a print, but as you know, Webricks doesn't do prints, so we left that unprinted. The instructions for it that are available on Rebrickable comes with a stand automatically, so if you would like the stand, it is in the instructions already. If you would not like the stand, you don't have to make it with the stand. And this is also a good example of discussing about, I think, some of the issues that Webricks has with complex shapes. As you can see, there's some lines and some pieces that look like they're not quite fully in there. I think that is where Webricks starts to reach a maximum of being usable compared to LEGO, where if the model is incredibly complex, some sections of this, especially this top piece right here, which is like a separate subassembly that snugly fits on top, that was surprisingly difficult to get there, and it did not want to fit perfectly, but eventually when I got that click, and then I knew that it was connected, it worked eventually. So it takes a little bit of practice to get used to as well. The vehicle also has a mouth. On the lore, it says that there is a mouth somewhere on it. So because there are no images of where the mouth is, me and the other builder who designed this, Luke Skydragon, had to come up with where the mouth should be. So I'll first take off the stand so I can show you a little better. And then, so right there, that's the mouth. The mouth is right there. And then this is the Dovin Basil that is able to give the propulsion and shield systems. And then let's set this guy back down. So all in all, I think this was a surprisingly effective collab. It turned out a lot better than we had expected. Luke Skydragon has done a Yuuzhan Vong Coral Skipper before, and he was not really used to using some of the more shaping techniques that I'm more used to. He was mostly using a lot of slope pieces that were the non-curved slope pieces, and just a lot of terracing in like half plates and full bricks, and so it was kind of like there wasn't a lot of unique shaping or unique geometry to it. It was pretty straightforward. When we designed this model together, I started work on the front right here, which this is where the guns are. So there's 2 guns on the sides here, which is what these tubes are connected to. And this is where the main lava kind of hot metal stuff would shoot out of. And the mouth is to bring in more metal into the kind of like quote unquote stomach of the starfighter. So he started working on the cockpit at the same time that I was working on the nose, and then as we kind of continued on, we fused the 2 sections together. I worked on a lot of this shaping right here to get this kind of shape. He worked on this tail section as well as the cockpit's side paneling as well, and then he came up with this really clever way to kind of hide the hinges for the cockpit. It's just like these 2 ratchet pieces, and then this goes from a 3-stud connection to a 4-stud connection on top, and that's hidden really well. It's fairly seamless in my opinion. The biggest challenge for this model for sure was just getting the shaping right. If you look at a lot of images of Yuuzhan Vong Coral Skippers, they can come in a great variety of shapes and sizes and designs, and because of that, it was hard to choose like what the best one is to kind of fit the style we felt was appropriate for the starfighter. We ended up using the one from the Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels. That image, I'd say, is the most representational, like most accurate representation of like what a traditional Yuuzhan Vong Coral Skipper would look like, and it was a less complex shape. If you look at the ship a little bit from like this perspective, it's a little heart shaped. It's kind of like a really pointy, elongated heart, and that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of snot building in this. It's a lot of studs on the side construction, some studs upside down construction as well. One of the benefits of using Webricks for this model was that the texturing and shaping on this section right here uses a special part that they have, which is a 1x2 with studs on both sides, the top and bottom, which is how we get this shaping right here. And then a lot of this kind of like segments onto other sections that you build that studs on the side, and then it's kind of snaps on top. This whole system is like the base, so there's like a main frame that runs all the way through here, and then that whole thing just connects to the top upwards, and then all of this is put in sideways there, and then the back 2 fins, which you see right here, those are kind of hinged down with some hinge bricks. It was a lot of fun. As I said, it was a really interesting challenge of shaping and modeling and style and form, and it was difficult, but we managed to, I think, pull it off much better than I had expected. I'm really happy with the result. If you are interested in picking this up, you can get it on Webrickable under the Yuuzhan Vong Coral Skipper. I will have the link for that down in the description down below. I do not have a Webricks version out yet. It is not that different. You just need to replace like one part that Webricks doesn't actually have, which is the 2x3 curved with a cutout, which should be here, and one on the bottom as well. Those pieces are replaced with just a chunk full of other pieces instead, which it still looks good, but it doesn't get the curvature that I would have liked here. So I would recommend the Lego version if you have that amount of money. If you don't, I might look into making the Webricks version available for everyone if there is enough interest for it. And that's kind of all I got for you today. So thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.